INFJs exist in a world of quiet knowing. We don't just hear words, we absorb meaning. We don't just notice actions, we sense intent. While others navigate life through what is said and done, we tune into the spaces in between. The unspoken emotions, the subtle energy shifts, the truths people hide even from themselves. We are the unseen observers, the silent psychologists, the ones who understand before we are understood. But what happens when the observer becomes the observed? When people turn their gaze on us, trying to read us the way we so effortlessly read them? The truth is, INFJs are walking contradictions in the eyes of others. Some see us as wise and intuitive, almost mystical in the way we understand things without explanation. Others misinterpret our quiet nature, mistaking our introspection for coldness, our need for solitude as detachment, and our deep emotions as overwhelming intensity. We are seen as both compassionate and distant, open yet private, present yet somehow just out of reach. And then there are those who simply can't figure us out. To them, we are unpredictable, one moment deeply engaged, the next lost in thought. We can be warm and inviting but suddenly retreat into solitude. We crave connection yet need space to breathe. We feel deeply yet keep so much of it locked away. It's no wonder that INFJs are often labeled as mysterious, complex, or even unknowable. So, how does the world truly see us? Do people recognize our quiet strength, our boundless empathy, our relentless desire to understand and uplift others? Or are we merely a puzzle, intriguing but frustrating, profound but impossible to pin down? This video is an exploration of perception, how others see INFJs, how our traits can be misunderstood, and why, in the end, none of it defines who we truly are. Because the greatest power of an INFJ isn't in how we are perceived. It's in the depth of who we are. Before we dive deep, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. If you've ever felt like people don't quite get you, or if you're curious about the different ways INFJs are perceived, stay with me until the end. This might just shift your perspective on yourself. One reserved, yet magnetic. INFJs exist in a paradox. We are private by nature, guarding our thoughts and emotions beneath layers of quiet introspection. In a world that often rewards boldness and instant connection, we take our time, observing, processing, and choosing carefully when and with whom to share our inner world. This natural reserve can make us appear distant, even detached, especially to those who mistake silence for indifference. Yet, strangely, it is this very quality that makes us so compelling. There is an undeniable allure to mystery, and an INFJ's quiet depth creates an energy that others can't quite put their finger on. While many feel the need to fill the space with words, we are comfortable in silence, and that composure is magnetic. We don't seek attention, but attention often finds us. People may not always understand what draws them in. Perhaps it's the feeling that we truly see them, or maybe it's the way we carry ourselves with a deliberate presence. There's a sense of knowing, a depth that speaks without words, a gravity that pulls people in even when they can't quite define why. Some feel comforted by our energy, sensing a rare kind of understanding. Others may find us enigmatic, fascinating yet elusive, always present but never fully graspable. 2. Thoughtful, yet intense. INFJs don't just experience the world. We analyze it, decode it, and seek meaning in everything. Our minds are never idle. They are intricate landscapes where thoughts, patterns, and emotions continuously intertwine. We reflect on the past, anticipate the future, and scrutinize the present, searching for deeper truths beneath the surface of everyday interactions. This constant internal processing shapes the way we move through the world, observant, measured, and intentional. We rarely act on impulse, preferring to reflect before speaking, to analyze before deciding. Every glance, every pause, every carefully chosen word is often the result of unseen layers of contemplation. Yet, this deep thoughtfulness can sometimes make us appear intense in ways that others may not fully understand. A quiet gaze may be mistaken for judgment. A moment of silence may be misread as brooding. Our seriousness can be perceived as sternness, our introspection as detachment. While we are simply immersed in thought, others may wonder if we are lost in some unreachable world, seeing things they cannot. But in truth, we are neither cold nor distant. We are simply wired to think deeply. And though it may not always be obvious beneath the surface of that quiet intensity, it's a mind that is not only reflective but profoundly compassionate, searching not just for meaning but for ways to connect, to understand, and to bring clarity to the chaos of life. 3. Graceful, yet unreachable. There's an undeniable elegance in the way INFJs move through the world, not necessarily in a physical sense, but in the way we carry ourselves. Our energy is often calm, deliberate, and composed, as if we've seen enough of life to understand when to engage and when to simply observe. We are not ones to seek the spotlight, yet our quiet presence can be striking. There's an old soul quality to us, a sense of knowing that feels both reassuring and elusive at the same time. This natural pose often makes others see us as graceful, self-assured, or even sophisticated. Our words tend to be measured, our reactions thoughtful. We don't seek to dominate conversations, but when we do speak, it's with purpose. This air of quiet confidence can make us seem wise beyond our years, as if we exist on a different wavelength, one of depth, introspection, and careful understanding. But this very grace can also create an invisible barrier. While people may admire our composure, they can find us difficult to approach. There's a sense of distance, as though we are slightly removed from the world around us, navigating life in a way that is both deeply engaged yet somehow untouchable. We can be warm and welcoming, yet there is always a part of us that remains guarded, unseen. People may struggle to place us, drawn in by our presence, yet feeling like there's always more beneath the surface that they can't quite reach. They may respect us, appreciate us, even be fascinated by us, but truly knowing us, that feels like a mystery they may never fully solve. 4. Weird, yet intriguing. INFJs don't quite fit into the mold. We never have. The way we see the world, the way we process life, it's different. While many people are content to accept things at face value, We are the ones constantly questioning, analyzing, and searching for meaning. We crave depth in a world that thrives on the superficial. Small talk feels empty, surface-level interactions feel draining, and the things that excite most people often leave us indifferent. This uniqueness is both a gift and a challenge. Some find it refreshing, our ability to see beyond the obvious, to think outside conventional boundaries, to offer perspectives that others have never considered. They are drawn to the way we make them think, how we challenge their assumptions and invite them to explore life in a more meaningful way. But not everyone finds this comfortable. To some, we are simply strange. Our unconventional thought processes, our unpredictable mix of warmth and solitude, our reluctance to conform to social norms, it can make us feel like outsiders. While we might be present in a group, we often feel like we exist on the fringes, never fully belonging, never quite blending in. People may sense that we're different, but they can't always pinpoint why. And yet, this very quality makes us compelling. There's something about us that lingers in people's minds, something intriguing in the way we think, speak, and move through life. Those who take the time to look deeper often find themselves captivated, not because we try to stand out, but because we simply are different in ways that challenge, inspire, and shift perspectives. 5. Informed, yet detached. INFJs have an insatiable thirst for knowledge, not just for facts and figures, but for the deeper truths that shape human nature, society, and the universe itself. We don't just accept information, we analyze it, deconstruct it, and explore the underlying patterns that connect everything. We are seekers, drawn to philosophy, psychology, spirituality, and anything that offers insight into the complexities of life. Yet, for all our depth of understanding, we often appear detached. Because we naturally see multiple perspectives, we rarely react with immediate emotional intensity. Instead, we take a step back, assess, and weigh the situation from all angles. While others might passionately argue for one viewpoint, we remain in the middle, questioning, considering, and refusing to be swept away by impulsive reactions. This neutrality can be confusing to those who expect clear-cut opinions or emotional engagement. Our ability to see beyond black and white thinking can make us seem distant, as if we are observing rather than participating. We can discuss deep, emotional topics with calm objectivity, which may lead people to think we aren't invested when, in reality, we feel deeply, we just process it differently. The truth is, INFJs care profoundly. But our caring isn't always loud or obvious. It's quiet, measured, and often exists behind the scenes. We aren't detached from life, we are simply watching it from a vantage point that few others occupy. 6. Old souls, yet misunderstood. From an early age, INFJs often feel like we don't quite belong. There's something in our demeanor, our way of thinking, or even the way we carry ourselves that makes us seem older than our years. People may sense an unusual depth in us, an understanding of life that seems to extend far beyond our actual experiences. It's as if we've seen more, felt more, and somehow internalized lessons that others are just beginning to grasp. This old soul energy can make us both comforting and perplexing to those around us. We often attract people who seek guidance, who are drawn to our wisdom and emotional depth. In a way, we become natural confidants. People tell us their secrets, pour out their worries, and look to us for insights they can't seem to find elsewhere. But this very quality can also set us apart. While others are caught up in trends, social norms, or the pursuit of momentary pleasures, we crave something deeper. Small talk feels empty. Societal expectations seem arbitrary, and many of the things that bring excitement to others leave us unmoved. We struggle to find people who get us, who can meet us on the same level of depth and introspection. Because of this, people may find us difficult to place. Are we wise or just detached? Are we mature beyond our years, or do we simply not fit into the world in a conventional way? Some admire our perspective, while others see us as distant or even aloof. But the truth is, we're not trying to stand apart, we just are different, and that difference isn't always easy for others to understand. 7. Sensitive, yet strong. INFJs don't just witness emotions, we absorb them. The energy of a room, the unspoken pain in someone's voice, the sadness hidden behind a smile. We feel it all, often before people even recognize it in themselves. Our sensitivity is not just about empathy. It's an almost supernatural ability to tune into the emotional undercurrents of life. It allows us to comfort, to guide, and to understand people on a profound level. But this depth of feeling comes at a cost. The weight of the world's pain, the injustices we see, can't fix, the suffering we sense even when no words are spoken, it all lingers within us. It's why we need solitude, why we retreat when things become too overwhelming, why we sometimes seem distant even when we care deeply. Yet, despite this profound sensitivity, people are often surprised by our strength. We don't shatter under the weight of emotions, we endure. We carry burdens silently, process pain internally, and keep moving forward even when the world feels unbearably heavy. INFJs are the quiet warriors, the ones who fight battles no one sees, who turn pain into wisdom, who face the darkness and still choose to bring light. What many don't realize is that our sensitivity is not a weakness. It is the very source of our strength, because to feel deeply and still stand tall, to hurt and still choose kindness, to break and still heal others, that is a resilience most will never understand. We hold ourselves to impossible standards, expecting depth, authenticity, and purpose in everything we do. Surface-level interactions feel empty. Forced smiles and small talk drain us. Mediocrity frustrates us, not because we're snobs, but because we know life has more to offer. and we refuse to settle for anything less. To the outside world, this can make us seem demanding or even impossible to please. People may feel like no effort is ever quite enough, like we're always searching for something just out of reach. But those who truly know us understand the truth. It's not about wanting more. It's about wanting things to matter. A heartfelt conversation, an act of kindness, a glimpse of real human connection. These are the things that touch us in ways words can't describe. INFJs may be difficult to satisfy, but when we find something real, we hold on to it with every fiber of our being. Our gratitude isn't shallow, it's profound. And when we love, when we trust, when we believe in something, it's with an intensity that is rare and unwavering. INFJs move through life like whispers in a world that favors no's. We are seen, yet not always understood. Misread as mysterious, intense, distant, or even strange. People try to categorize us, to label us in ways that fit their understanding, but we were never meant to be easily defined. It's easy to feel alone in this, to wonder why the world doesn't quite get us, why our depth can feel like an island instead of a bridge. But here's the truth. It doesn't matter how others perceive us. It never has. We were never meant to fit neatly into society's expectations. Our depth, our contradictions, our quiet strength, these are not burdens. They are our power. The world may misunderstand our silences, our need for solitude, our intensity, but that does not diminish who we are. So if you've ever felt like an outsider, if you've ever questioned why you see things differently, why your heart feels deeper, why your mind travels further, let this be your reminder. You were not made to be understood by everyone. You were made to be you, and that is more than enough. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt like people misunderstood your INFJ nature? How do others typically perceive you? Let's talk in the comments. I'd love to hear your experiences. And if this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. There's so much more to uncover about the hidden depths of the INFJ mind. Until